Hello and welcome to what is not my typical type of Friday read, but I decided this might be a good time to do this, and I've been pondering it for a little bit. Anyone from a 12-step program definitely knows the Serenity Prayer. The Serenity Prayer is, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And yes, I had to glance over at a copy, although I have heard it numerous times a few decades ago when I used to go to meetings with my clients. And no, it isn't what worked for me in terms of my life choices, but it is a program that I strongly support. And right now, the Serenity Prayer, I think, is very important. I'll be writing out a copy of it for myself to put around my house because the words certainly have a great deal of meaning, whether you're dealing with a substance use or abuse issue or not, because at the moment there are so many things happening in this world that can be very frustrating, can be very irritating, and we need to focus on self-care, what we can personally do to make a difference, to make that change, and to know that there are some things, no matter how much it bothers or irritates us, there are some things that we cannot change, but there are things that all of us can do, whether that's self-care for ourselves, supporting someone else in need right now, whether it's making phone calls to politicians, writing emails, getting groups together, whatever it is, each individual needs to decide for themselves what are the best steps to take right now. So very much thinking about what can you currently change and control in your life and what is currently out of your control. That is why this particular prayer has been on my mind a lot for a bit of time now. I was quite surprised that there isn't a copy of the Serenity Prayer, either in my copy of the big book, which I recently acquired through the thrift store, and it isn't in the 12 Steps or 12 Traditions, which is a gift that I received from one of my former clients. So yes, if you haven't figured it out by now, I do have an issue with alcohol. And I have to be very mindful. Although it's been decades, it's still something I need to be aware of on a daily basis. Now, as I say, for me, it wasn't AA or going to meetings that made the difference. It was actually working with my clients, looking at my own life, and doing the work myself. I'm very private in many ways about many things, so a group social environment talking about my story wasn't what made the difference for me. But talking one-on-one with people definitely did. So this book to me is priceless. I definitely need to read it, and I think this will certainly be the year that I do. I was glancing through what's referred to as the big book. This one is for Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous for people who have issues with other drugs, also has a big book. And as you can see, the print is also quite large. The big book was originally published in 1939. It's now 2025. There are stories in here of people, the challenges they faced, how they overcame it, how the program works for them. It's also important to note that although the Serenity Prayer does start with the word God, the 12-step programs are non-denominational, meaning anyone from any faith is welcome at the meetings. Right now, regardless of the country that you're living in, there are so many different things going on, whether it's in your immediate neighborhood, in your town, in your country. It's all over the news. It's all over social media. It's hard not to get overwhelmed and stressed out about it. Thankfully for me, jumping off the wagon isn't something that I'm thinking about, and that speaks volumes to the amount of personal hard work that I've done over quite some time, especially with all the stressors going on right now. And it's a particularly challenging, vulnerable time for people who are new to sobriety or being clean. Because make no mistake, whether it's a 12-step program, meeting with a counselor, or some other strategy that works for you, it is a difficult road, and especially when there are so many challenges and various things going on, and in a world like now in 2025 where there's just so much going on and being thrown at people through social media and so many other outlets. In a way, I'm grateful that I gained my sobriety long before something called social media. If you find yourself currently struggling and trying to just get through the day, if you haven't checked out Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous, they both have websites. I'll leave information about that in the description box below. Sadly, at the moment, YouTube still isn't letting me put in outside links, but you can copy paste that into the Google search. It will bring you up to both of those organizations' home pages where you can read about them and also find out about meetings in your local area. A couple of other things that I do want to mention about these books. The AA Big Book was originally published in April 1939. That was the first printing. In the front of my copy, it mentions its 58th printing, and that was 1997. So I have no doubt there have been numerous other printings of it since then. The original story of Bill W. has not been edited, has not been changed. There are a few other things that have never been changed since 1939. The personal stories throughout the volumes do change over time because, of course, the world and situations change over time. The strength of AA and the other 12-step programs like it is that people stay anonymous. So you have your first name, and people typically just give their last initial, if that. People share their stories. In meetings, they talk with each other. There are always speakers. You have a sponsor if you so choose, and that helps in those difficult, challenging days. It means you have someone to call 24/7. Again, it isn't the program that made the difference for me, but it has made a difference for millions and millions of people over the year. So I definitely suggest giving it a try if you're currently having some struggles. The 12 Steps and 12 Traditions were first published in 1952. This publication is 1981, and again, I'm sure that there have been newer editions since then. You can find all of that information on either the Alcoholics Anonymous website, Narcotics Anonymous website. There are a number of different programs that follow the 12 steps. I've talked about Julia Cameron, the author of The Artist's Way, and a number of other programs and works, and she openly shares in her work about being part of the 12-step program, and that's what made the difference for her. Her substance of choice was alcohol. She had come to that difficult point in life, and it was going to AA meetings that turned things around for her. And she then successfully used those steps to not only maintain her own sobriety, but also to create programs that help people tap into their creativity and lead a more joyful and peaceful life. I think this is definitely the perfect time to get started on the 12-week program, The Artist's Way. I've been meaning to do it for months, and it is definitely the year to read the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, as well as reading the big book. Thank you for the gift of your time, and remember, be safe, be well, big hugs, and take good care of yourself.